Hello, so I'm going to be doing the 100 Heads Portrait Challenge by Ahmed Aldoori. If you don't know what the 100 Heads Challenge is you're going to draw 100 heads over the course of 10 days. I will be using primarily pencil, different varying lead sizes. I also will be using a blender tool and a few different erasers. I may sneak some pen in there, but we'll see. I decided to make my own portrait board. I'll link my Pinterest board down below. Something I want to get out of this is learning expressions and shading, just how to keep things a little more simplified. Okay, let's get into it. Day one, let's go. All right, here we are with my first drawing for the 100 Heads Challenge. I started with a male, which is pretty crazy because I never draw males. And I'm not gonna lie, this one was really bad and then it got really good. And honestly, the hair was so fun to draw and the mustache. But then it kind of got really bad again. And I think it's mostly due to the placement of his eyes. They're just a little wonky, and I realized this afterwards, so I actually ended up fixing this after I was done filming it. You'll see at the end of this video when I go over all of these what I did. All right, second drawing of the first day. I did another male, and honestly, I just picked out a lot of photos on Pinterest that I liked, and I'm just doing them in order. But this one was fun. It was a side profile. I really like how this one turned out compared to my first male drawing. I really enjoyed that there was like the collar and the hair was really fun to do. Something I struggled with this one is if you actually saw the original reference, the chin is like more chiseled and lengthened in my drawing. So I actually eventually fixed this in the end, you'll see. But it's amazing how just little details like that can completely change the likeness of a person you're drawing. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one overall. Okay, for drawing number 3, and from here on out, I'm just switching up my editing and I'm just going to speed up my process and talk over it rather than cut because I think that's gonna be really hard for editing this many videos. But drawing number 3 was the first female I'm going to be drawing for the 100 Head Challenge. Something I wanted to work on with this drawing specifically was lightening up my lines and really getting those shapes and proportions more proper. And this really helped finding that likeness that I was looking for. With this drawing, it became the drawing that I looked at and said, this is what I want my other pieces to look like. At least so far, this was like ultimately you could say my favorite. It's more just like I really enjoyed how I laid the lines down and how dark I made certain things and how light I made other things. Drawing number 4 killed me. Everything turned out so well up until I had to start putting her facial features in. I feel like the structure of her head, the proportions, even the hair, once I start putting that in, just was like, chef's kiss. And then it just went downhill. And you would think, oh, fourth drawing, things are looking up. But no, this one, for some reason, I just lost it. Like I erased and redid this face so many times. Even off camera, I erased it and redid it. And I just don't know. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure if I just maybe tried to redraw this face, if it would just turn out better. It was bad though, and it still is. And I still look at it now and I'm like, I'm terrified. Everything else I like, the face just was not it for me. All right, the fifth drawing. This drawing is one of those types of drawings that if I was drawing this from my imagination, I would have been very proud of it. I would have thought, this looks really nice. I like the lines I put, I like the proportions. Everything I did, I really like about this drawing. However, I feel like I did not capture the likeness of the actual portrait I was drawing. And that was frustrating for me because I feel like I did everything I needed to. I was really trying to capture it, but it just wasn't working as far as looking like the actual portrait. Um, so that really made me think about like, okay, how can I make these look more like what I'm seeing in these portraits? So from here on out, I think you'll see I try to focus on that a little bit more. But overall, I think this turned out to be a really beautiful drawing. Now we're at the halfway mark, and gotta say, I'm really enjoying myself. This is the sixth drawing. I wanted to focus on those proportions. I think everything was turning out really well. This was the last drawing I did where I was just keeping my sketchbook flat, and you could see everything was a little slightly elongated. This drawing went so well. I really thought it was turning out great until the eyes. The eyes messed me up, and I just realized that eyes were messing me up a lot in most of these drawings. It's the one thing I was really stumping on. So I actually went and looked up not how to draw eyes, but just maybe the way other artists are doing it. I feel like I'm just trying to add more detail to it than I need to. All right, drawing number 7. We're gonna focus on the eyes, right? This drawing was the first drawing I did where I elevated my sketchbook, so I feel like my proportions were much better, not so elongated. I'd say the eyes turned out a little bit better in this drawing, and I started focusing on that quite a bit. I also focused on this was an Asian woman, and I really wanted to capture that. But to be completely honest, I feel like I didn't capture it well enough, and I would like to work on that a little bit more. This was also the first drawing with glasses, and that was interesting. It was fun to do, but definitely a little bit more work than somebody without glasses. And then I like how clean and crispy this drawing is, but it almost gave too much of like a cartoon character vibe because of the line work. This drawing it's so frustrating because this is probably my favorite drawing I did of a female, and I forgot to record the first part of it, which is so silly. However, this is my favorite drawing because of how simplified it is, but also where I laid the lines. I think that it worked really well. This was also an Asian woman, and I do feel like I captured it a little bit more. I really could have pushed this more, and I would love to work on this during this challenge. But something about that, I think the eyes turned out well. They're a little more simplified. I didn't do as much shading in this, and yeah, it's just very clean, crispy, classic. So from here on out, this is kind of the style I'm looking for at this point, or better. All right, y'all, this is drawing number 9, second to last drawing of my first day of the 100 head challenge. This drawing is probably one of my favorite drawings I have done in a very long time. It's a bald man with glasses, with a beard, with pretty exaggerated features, and I've never drawn something like this, so I could be having a little bit of a wow, I did so good because I've never drawn something like this. But something about the lines, the beard, the expression, the nose, it scratches an itch in my brain that I usually can't scratch when it comes to drawing. Let me know what you think. Do you think I did an actual good job, or do you think it's because I am just not used to drawing this and was kind of shocked that I could draw a man like this? Okay, the last drawing for today. And as you can see, for some reason, I was having a hard time. I don't know if it was because I was excited, it's the last drawing, or if it was just a harder reference. I think this one turned out well. I feel like I actually captured the likeness of the character very well. I do think the proportions are not up to par, though. I think the proportions needed to be worked on. Her hair, though, was like the most fun to draw, personally. And I think it turned out really cute. But I think I would really enjoy if I could have a back button on this, I would definitely fix her proportions. And then I also wouldn't overshade like I did right at the end of this drawing. Okay, friends, so day one of the 100 heads challenge is over. I got 10 heads in. I definitely felt much better by the end of the session of drawing 10 heads. I just wanted to flip it over real quick and show you the 10 heads I drew. Kind of show you I fixed a few different things like on these two guys. This one stayed the same. This one I couldn't fix. This one looked good. And then the rest of this page, honestly, I really enjoyed this last page. I think it turned out well. Oh, this beauty, so beautiful. This guy, oh, perfection. And then this girl, I love her hair. But that is it. This is a whole spread. I think it looks really cool, actually. I'm super proud of it. And I cannot wait till tomorrow to do another round of this. So thank you so much for watching my day one video of the 100 heads portrait challenge. I really enjoyed this. I think I'm already learning a lot. I'll see you in the next video, which should be day 2 of the 100 heads portrait challenge. Okay, bye everyone.